Hi everybody, good morning. Gonna get the little thing going here. So, how is everybody this morning? We are going to do a cauliflower dish here, kind of like an Indian cauliflower. And so I'm gonna start off with my onion like I usually do and get that sauteing along with a little bit of carrot. It almost feels like I do the same thing almost every day. But it seems like onions and carrots are the basics for most dishes, or at least most dishes that I do. So I'm going to take my onion here and do the usual thing where I just kind of score it on one side like this, and then put it this way so that when you don't go all the way through, you just go 3/4 way through, and then you just chop it like this, and it makes the nice little dices it up really nicely. So okay, so you just kind of finish off the end, like the old-fashioned way of kind of working with it. Okay, and I have a little bit of peel here, so we don't want that in. So we're going to put this into the pan, which is just the pan. Hey, Darlene, good morning. How are you? It's so nice to see you here. And so we're just getting that going a little bit. And I usually start the pan off with water. And like get it really hot, and then with water, and then whenever you put something in it, it cooks really fast. But I didn't realize, I didn't see that there wasn't any water, but it didn't burn. We're good. We're good. A little bit more. Okay, so we'll get that sauteing. And yeah, so the high heat really helps. And then I usually don't, there's a little piece of peel there. I usually don't add any oil. But I might in this dish. So yeah. So anyways, yeah. When you come home, the regular typical thing is always wash your vegetables. And in this case, I've already peeled this organic carrot. So I'm going to get it going in here so that it starts to soften up too. So it's going to be kind of my version of an Indian cauliflower dish, and yes, I am very good. It's really good. So yeah, I sure missed everybody last week. I'm telling you, it's been so much fun to do the Facebook Live with everybody, and to have everyone comment and participate, and super. My slippery carrot here. Always make sure to be careful not to cut yourself. However, you need to not do that. Anyways, yeah, so I really missed you guys last week, but it was really great. I was on a herbal research team, and so we did a lot of research on all of the symptoms that seem to be happening right now, and what to do for them, what kind of herbal remedies might be helpful, what kind of supplements would be helpful, and basically what to do and what not to do. But honestly, it really boils down to protecting your immune system. So that, that has everything to do with how you respond in these times, right? So if you're exposed, then your immune system has everything to do with protecting you. And if you've been exposed and you actually get something, then your immune system has everything to do with how it works to heal you, or to prevent you from getting, having a really more severe challenge with it. Let's just say that. Anyway, it was awesome learning. All kinds of really new information, new things, a lot to do with the blood clotting, and heart. Huge that, with the heart. And so anyways, yes, I was very, very excited for that. And I just realized that I was supposed to do something that I didn't do before I was supposed to do it. So, okay, I'm going to explain what I just did that I shouldn't have done, that I won't be doing now because I should have done it first. Here's the, these are coriander seeds, and this is cumin seeds. And when you're working with Indian food, if you're working with the real seed, you need to put it in a little bit of oil in the pan, and then get those the whole seeds, like the aroma, they just burst open in the oil, and they create the most amazing flavor and aroma with the seeds. So the seeds like to go in the oil, and the powders, your herbal powders, like to go into, or leaves and things like that, like to go into water. So yeah, so you wouldn't normally put a powder into an oil because it just doesn't bring out the flavor and aroma, and it you know, sometimes, probably often, it doesn't mix very well. And so I was supposed to do that first. So I am just looking to see if it might be worth showing you guys, because I really, maybe I do need to do that. I wasn't going to, but luckily I have tools right here at my disposal. So I'm going to grab a pen, and I am going to show you how that works. Okay, so kind of doing it opposite, because ideally what you would do is you would be putting the oil in this pan, getting those seeds popping, and then adding your onions and your carrots. And so this thing here, I don't use that often, so it's not plugged in. So excuse me while I reach around for the extension cord and try and not blow a breaker. How's that? Okay, so we're just going to let this heat up a little bit while I'm yapping away about everything else. Oh look, the sun's getting brighter. Yay! Okay, so we'll be doing this and this when this pan gets warm. Okay, so what we're going to do with the cauliflower, I don't want it too overcooked, so I'm kind of going to add that last. And I'm going to, I still have my beautiful chard here that I've been dehydrating like crazy, trying to get through the plums and the apples and the apple pears, and did grapes yesterday too. So I haven't quite gotten down to using this, but I'm going to. It's kind of dehydrating a little bit on its own, which is kind of awesome. Okay, I'm going to add a couple little, try and do my cutting board and my thing here. I add a couple of these tomatoes while we're waiting, just for color and flavor. Oh my god. Okay, so, and as I feel this getting warmer, I might as well, I'll take this off. So nice to have the garden tomatoes. It's just so lovely. And I was, you know, like you guys know, the people that are on here all the time that are regulars, as you know, I'm not much of a gardener, and I took the class with Alexandra Loophole, and it made a huge difference. I actually have a really good garden, but I just hated the idea of bringing my tomatoes in yet, because they're still mostly green, because we're a little higher up and slower in, well, this might be getting warm now. We're slower than the rest of town in things ripening and blooming and all that kind of stuff. So you don't need very much oil, just enough to put the seeds in. Yeah, so I didn't really want to bring my tomatoes in yet, and then we had the rain, and so it was like, oh my god, should I have brought my tomatoes in? And but it's supposed to be really sunny all next week, so I didn't really want to miss out on them ripening more, so taking a chance. And I figure if they crack from the rain, which is what I think they kind of do in the rain, is if they crack, then I'm just going to use them in tomato sauce anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we've added some tomatoes to this. I'm just trying to get those carrots cooked down so they're a little softer before I add everything else, because I don't really want everything else super cooked. I can add this now because this is already overcooked. I have leftover potatoes, and so we're going to add some potatoes to this. These are already cooked. Okay, I'm just peeling this. You never want to make sure that, you always want to make sure that your oil doesn't get too hot. Oh, see, it's just right. Can you hear them? Can you hear them sizzling? So I'm going to turn this down now. Because if your oil is too hot, it can catch on fire. So always, always be careful to not get your oil too hot to catch on fire. Okay, so I can tell you a funny story about that actually. My mom, she was making French fries. When I was little, I was like 5 or 6, and she caught the oil on fire, and it like seriously got on fire, and it burned her whole hair and her arms and everything trying to put it out. And so she came home from the hospital, and she was all bandaged up, and you know, her hands were all bandaged and everything, and she had just enough space to hold a cigarette. So anyways, she was smoking a cigarette, and she had all she had was 2 little holes for her eyes because she was pretty badly burnt. And she said, keep an eye on that cigarette for me, make sure I don't burn myself. Can you imagine? Those were back in the days. So anyways, yeah, you know, it just didn't really, it was just so common to take things maybe a little bit more casually back then, or at least she did anyway. Okay, so I'm turning this down and just letting those seeds pop, right? So it's hot enough. I think you can see that. Hopefully you can smell it. Hopefully you can smell it. We need smell-o-vision. Okay, so doing the rest of these potatoes in here just to, because the carrots are getting pretty done, so I'm also going to turn this down. Oh, that aroma is amazing. Okay, so it is getting a little bit, they're darkening, and I don't want them to burn, so, and the oil is creating a little bit of smoke, so I'm stopping this right here, and I might just put it over here because I don't want these seeds overcooked. Actually, I could probably put them in there. They're going to go in there anyway. That was supposed to happen first. Oh my gosh. Hey, Kathy. Good morning. How are you? Hey, Jane. Everybody. Okay, so I'm going to put these guys in. I'm just going to gently, I want to make sure the oil's not too hot. A little bit to add to the water in there. You don't want to be mixing oil and water, or if you do, like this, very, very, very carefully. Okay, so again, be careful with the oil, right? Lesson learned. I learned when I was little. Okay, so we're going to put that in and just let that meld and mix together. What I'm actually going to do is maybe move this out of my way so I don't burn myself on the hot thing. That's less hot. Okay, so back to the potatoes. Oh yeah, cauliflower. So the cauliflower, can I see you guys? Hey, hi everybody. Okay, so the cauliflower, it has choline in it. Really good for brain health. You know, as you know, all the cruciferous vegetables are like so important for the colon and colon health. And that's why I have this book out here with all the little placeholders. How Not to Die cookbook with Dr. Michael Greger. He's the one that's done all the studies on all of the research on the different foods and what they do. And he has a completely free website called nutritionfacts.org. And he does not make any money from his books at all. He donates all of it to charities. And so I'm pretty much really liking what he does and what he says and what he stands for. And so, yeah, so the proof is in the cruciferous vegetables for your colon. Cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all that kind of thing. He says from his research that if you eat 1 serving a day, which is not even a cupful, of one of them, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, all those things, that you reduce your risk of colon cancer by 50%, like 50%. And to the point where it, it actually starts to create a healing, like all depending on what's going on, right? So, so that's pretty impressive. And unfortunately, I have a friend who is right now going through a colon cancer issue, and so, it's really like, to know that you can really do something to protect yourself and do something about it is awesome. Okay, so eat your cauliflower, your broccoli, your kale, your Brussels sprouts, and we're going to be adding some chard to this. Okay, so like I said, I don't really want the cauliflower too overcooked. Oh, I have the peas here. These are indeed my fresh peas from the garden. Okay, so we're going to add those. And I don't want those too overcooked either. And I am going to add some of the chickpeas that we soaked. Hey, Monique, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you here. We're going to add a few chickpeas too, and or garbanzo beans. And I am going to add some of this beautiful chard that I have here. Oh my gosh, I've got so much chard. Okay, I think I can move this out of the way now safely. And so we will, well, we can cut it. Sometimes I think I'm stronger than I am. These are really, really good to chop up and dehydrate and put into your soups and stuff. So don't toss your stems. They also, all that kind of stuff makes a really good veggie broth too. So yeah, so I'm just going to fold up the chard, carefully kind of cut it in thirds. And this is going to be super awesome. I'm so thrilled with this chard that I got from Kirsty Allen at the Old Orchard Farm. And she's working with the Alberni Community Collective, selling produce and beautiful vegetables at the Spirit Square Farmers Market. And I think they have squashes coming up. So it's a beautiful place to get your produce. And so I'm just going to toss this in. I'm just looking because I really want this to be as raw as possible at this point. So the carrots are kind of cooked. Onions are definitely cooked, although they would be fine raw as well. And then we want to have the rest of these vegetables fairly raw. So obviously the chickpeas are cooked. The peas are not. Peas are out of the garden. I did freeze them, so they're kind of like almost, almost raw, fresh out of the garden. A little more cauliflower. Seeing as how this is supposed to be an Indian cauliflower dish, and like I was saying yesterday, I tend to get so I know yesterday Facebook was just crazy. It just kept falling off, and I disappeared, and then I came back on later because I thought, well, I had to make the, what did I make yesterday? I had to make it anyways. So I came back on and made it. It was a soup. Chard. Oh, it was immune system soup that was really, really good. And miso, immune system miso soup was yesterday's. So yeah, so we're gonna have, like I was saying yesterday, I tend to talk way too much and add way too many vegetables. Like I had a kind of a hard time with the miso soup to make it look like a miso and not turn into a total vegetable dish. Oh, okay. So in addition to the beautiful coriander, the beautiful cumin, we are adding turmeric, of course, because it is so good for you and such a so healthy with the curcumin, anti-inflammatory, and it is also very typical in most Indian dishes. So we have that. We have where is it? Okay, I'm going to add some coriander powder too. I buy this stuff in bulk. And so we're going to add the, let me see, get a clean spoon here. Okay, so like a heaping teaspoon of coriander powder. It just really brings out the flavor, maybe even a little bit more. It's just so good. Okay, and then the cayenne, because I love cayenne. It's so spicy and hot. Good for you. Increases circulation, helps the blood, helps the heart, helps so many things. And I'm going to put this piece of garlic in. I'm just going to smash that down. And then what I'm looking for, oh, there it is the ginger, which I probably should have put in first, but I get distracted when I'm talking and trying to work at the same time. It doesn't always work out for me to talk and try and work at the same time. Tend to be have a little bit of a single focus here. Okay, so there is the fresh garlic. We're going to add a couple pieces of the fresh ginger, and I think what I'll do, because I'm so late in adding this, is that I think I'm going to add a little bit of powdered as well. I did turn this off, but it's still sizzling. Oh, I better add some more water. I guess I had it fairly warm. Okay. So we have the turmeric, the salt and the pepper. The Celtic sea salt, which has lots of minerals in it. The stuff is amazing. Very gentle salt, it's not too salty. And then, of course, you're going to add your black pepper. So you need the black pepper. Hey, Judy. Hi, good morning. You're going to add the black pepper because that helps to activate the turmeric to coming in here. And the other thing, I am going to add a couple of these because they're so fresh. Like, they're so fresh. They're still on the branch, the bay leaves. Bay is just like, I'm going to add, they just smell so amazing. They are like I am putting bay leaves in my, in some salves that I'm making and some tinctures because they're really anti-inflammatory. Good for joint pain. They're good for coughs. Good for drying the respiratory system. Yeah, they're just super, super way more important than what you think, just adding to spaghetti sauce or whatever. So we're going to put those guys in there to just steam. And, cinnamon, last ingredient. Okay, just a little bit, not too much. Just want to bring out those flavors. Okay, so what you can do here is you can have this, I'll add a little more water. You can have this as it is, and it will be fantastically awesome. I wonder if I should add a little more turmeric just for the beautiful color and the healing properties. So what you could do is you can add coconut milk to this if you want. And hey Keisha, oh my gosh, hi, how are you? Nice to see you on here. So what you can do is just get this to where it starts to, just steam down a bit. I like to have the vegetables fairly raw if I can, and I might add a little bit more. But if you want to, you can add coconut milk, and that would be really lovely too. But as you can see here, I think you can see the juice. So it's getting like a little gravy-ish, if you guys can see that. So it's just going to steam down and absorb all the flavors. And then what I'll do is just gently heat it up a little bit before we have dinner tonight. And then your the cauliflower and the chard and everything is going to be pretty raw, and so that much more healthy. So yeah, so I think can you guys see that? Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's looking really good. So that's that. Is that? I'm looking around. Okay, so that is that. Now, the other thing I want to show you guys is I just want to show you what I'm up to, and I really couldn't do both things at once, although I like to try as often as I can. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I'm up to. Okay, so I started this, And this is what I'm going to do right after we aren't together, is I did the apples. Can you guys see that? So I'm rendering down these apples, and I'm using my little pastry cutter to kind of smash them all down. And so this is, I'm going to put it like that so you can see. This is like applesauce, right? So it's just apples, nothing else. And I'm bringing it down into an applesauce consistency. And what my plan is to add these lovely peppers here, all these little peppers, and to make a apple pepper jelly, except it's not going to be jelly. It's going to be like an apple pepper jammy applesauce kind of thing. Anyway, this is a bit of an experiment for me, and and I'll be adding to some chili peppers as well, like taste as you go kind of thing. And so so I'm not really sure what the consistency is going to be like, because I want it to be where you can spread it on crackers like a jalapeno jelly. So we'll see how that turns out. I think, you know, I looked at some recipes on the internet, and they say strain it all out, make it a clear jelly, and blah, blah, blah. And that looks beautiful and everything, but I just don't have time for that. So we're just going to do it like this and smash it all into what will look like applesauce. And then we'll add the all the peppers. And then I'm going to can it into the jars, and then we will see what the consistency is. I know the flavor will be fabulous, and I'm okay if it turns into like a jalapeno apple butter. That would be fine too. I don't mind. So anyway, that'll be really fun, and so that's what I'm up to now with this. And actually what I could do is just chop up a few of these peppers and start putting them in while we're here. So the other thing I wanted to share with you, and I knew there was something. We talked about this yesterday with my morning powders. And this is a combination of powders like ashwagandha, astragalus, ginseng, maca, moringa, olive leaf. And so what you would do, like these are powders for keeping your immune system healthy, for energy, for all kinds of things, and then specifically for me and my system. Like the astragalus boosts the immune system, it's good for energy, it's an antioxidant. It's supposed to be anti-aging, but I don't know how that's going. I'm not so sure. Anyway, I have lots of energy, so it's doing that. And then you have the ashwagandha, which is anti-stress. It's really good for stress, anxiety, helps you sleep. It's good for energy as well, and immune system, right? So all these different herbs are in this powder, and whenever you can add it to your meal, you're like turning your meal into a health supplement. So depending on what you're using, astragalus is a fantastic thing to add to any meal because it has, you know, virtually no flavor or very mild flavor. Ashwagandha has a bit of a stronger flavor, so you might want to add less because it's a little bitter. So it'd be good in some things, but maybe not so good in others. It's kind of similar to turmeric in that way because turmeric has a little bit of a bitter flavor as well. And so all these things, whenever you can incorporate immune system boosting herbs or herbs that are good for you, or things like, it'll be a spicy apple butter. Any of these things that you can add to, I'm just looking at my hair is having a bad hair day. Anything you can add to your immune system is really healthy and good for you, and add it whenever you can, like your teas. This is my Vitality tea, which is really good for the immune system. It's good for energy. It's very, very mild tasting. And with my glasses on, I can read for you what's in it. Lemon balm, lemongrass, cleavers. Cleavers really good for the, oh my God, good for everything. Good for your lymphatic system, good for your immune system. Actually, cleavers is one of the things that they are saying is really important to keep everything moving for this particular virus that's going on. It's really a good beneficial preventative for this because it keeps everything moving on and out and assists your immune system, which is your lymphatic system. It assists that in battling the virus. you know, in an immune system way where you're enhancing your own ability to have more resistance. So it has the flavors in it. It has peppermint, orange peel, ashwagandha, ginkgo. Ginkgo is really good for the brain. And yeah, really good for memory, for brain, for aiding circulation to the brain, helpful with headaches and that kind of thing. And astragalus, which we just talked about, cinnamon, which is yummy, ginseng for a little bit of energy, rose petals, which are beautiful and wonderful. So it's a super nice tea as well for your immune system, really mild to drink. And so these are the kinds of things that I do, is try and put, where did I put it? The powders. Put your immune system, whatever it is that you're taking to boost your immune system. You could even add your greens to this. A greens powder, which would be really healthy. It would look a little funny, but in a soup, you wouldn't even notice it. So anything you can do to add extra nutrition, extra boosting, extra immune system to your foods, you know, you have the opportunity to do that. And it doesn't, you don't even notice it. It's just increasing your health and your resistance. So anyway, I encourage you to do that. So I won't bore you too much with cutting up the peppers. I'm going to get back at the spicy apple butter and see how that works out. And so, yeah, so thanks for hanging out. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Is Friday already. I can't even believe that. And so we'll see. Put your comments in, whatever you want to see. Whatever you'd like me to do. I know somebody had asked for more breakfast ideas, so I might work on that. And so definitely put your comments in. Check out my Instagram, share this video, check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. And thank you guys. It was really fun, and we'll see you tomorrow.